and even thinking, even going back to your point about Dolph, I think the part that saddened me even more than the loss of life was the desensitized responses to just it being normal for one of our own to die in the city he's from. That's become a completely normalized concept that, when police officers kill us, we are enraged, we are outraged, we're ready to go to war, right? But when we kill each other, it's just kind of RIP, man, it sucks, it's hard out here. And it's like, why don't we have a different energy? And really it is because we're so used to it. It's just a part of, it's become like ingrained in the culture in poverty culture. It's not a black thing, it's just a poverty culture because it happens all over the world. It's not an American thing either, where people have survivor's remorse and they don't leave. They don't leave. It's like, it's really, everybody really can't go. And it sucks because, it just really is an example of how jealousy and envy and resentment, because I don't even think it's that it's necessarily hate. I just think it's resentment. I think people resent when they see someone else doing things that they don't believe they're capable of doing. Right?
But that I also just want to take that out of even, y'all know I like to corporate things up. And it's one of those things that also happens in the job space. Yeah. Like, and jealousy is something that we never intentionally want to feel. You know what I mean? Like, jealousy is one of those emotions, and unfortunately I feel like there's no control in it.
Well, to me, jealousy is not a bad thing. Jealousy to me just means you want what someone has. It's got nothing to do with the person. It has everything to do with the thing. So I don't look at jealousy as being a bad thing. I look at envy as being a little tricky, because I think envy is a step above jealousy, where if you're envious of someone, resentment. You resent the person.
Okay, gotcha.
You resent the person for who they are getting what they're getting, versus being jealous of, like, damn, that person drive that. Damn, that's a Maserati. I want a Maserati. I wish I had a Maserati, because you see somebody else with a Maserati, but it's got nothing to do with who the person is. I think the envy and resentment really is like, who does nigga think he is coming up and doing X, Y, and Z? And who does he think he is riding through the hood still like he's still here? Like, to me, that's a resentment that, I just think is completely ingrained in poverty culture. It's really tough.
You got my mind up, because I was going to even say, like, in terms of like certain positions that people hold power in certain jobs, like, you're right. I don't think that resentment is there. Maybe jealousy, but not the full resentment, I don't think.
Like, my mom, one of the things that my mom and I have talked about in the past, right, is that she has a very, my mom is the most judgmental person I know. She's very, very judgy. And sometimes it works. It's worked in my favor, because it's put things in perspective for me, because I'm a daydreamer and I don't always have a firm grasp on reality. And she'll be real quick to be like, oh, look, a reality check. Come here. Like, look what I got for you. And so, in some of those moments, I remember as a kid, one of the things that we used to talk about is the fact that she grew up really, really poor. And part of that the attitude that she would have towards other people that were doing more with what they had was like, well, who do you think you are? Like, who do you think you are that you just deserve that? And it's kind of like, and I've had to catch myself in my past, like, having that kind of a feeling, a sentiment around someone else having something I don't have and being able to celebrate it. And not even because I necessarily want the thing either, but sometimes the resentment just comes from the power, the aura, the energy, the essence that a person possesses. You could be resentful of a person just over the fact that they are loved by somebody.
Right.
You could just resent someone because of how loved they are, because they know their worth. I think a lot of us have those moments where we're like, damn, how is it like I hate her because she's doing blah 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 blah. But you don't really say that you hate her because she's doing blah blah blah. You find other characteristics that would contribute to her being the kind of person that could attract those things.
Right.
And I think there's a difference between, this is something I discussed in therapy a couple weeks ago. There's a difference between feeling like you deserve something and really knowing that you do. Like, sometimes you could feel like you deserve a level of success and feel like you're entitled to, somebody giving you your flowers, but you don't really know that you deserve it. You don't really believe that, because if you really believed that, the idea of somebody else having it would really be inspirational.
It wouldn't bother you.
It would be inspirational to you, right? I mean, even this past week, being in LA, we went to our good friend's housewarming. Shout out to Charles and Shireen, Charles Kuykendall, who was on our one of our Patreon episodes. Make it make sense. Make sure you subscribe to Patreon. And he and his wife just bought a new house, a bigger house, and during the speech that they were giving, just to thank everybody for being at the house and whatnot, something that Shireen had said, his wife said, was, a year ago, I saw these houses, I saw the space, and saw the neighborhood, and just wrote down, like, Dan, this would be really nice if I won the lottery. Like, this would be great. Granted, they didn't win the lottery. Like, they did not win the lottery. They just came up incredibly well professionally, made some really incredible moves financially, investment wise, and positioned themselves to be able to get this new house. And something that she said that I thought was really powerful was just like, it's when you write something down sometimes and you see how you feel about it, like you're looking at how you feel about it, that becomes your reality. But God can have something different in store for you that you don't know, that's just not realized yet, that you just you haven't seen it yet. And she called her house the house that God built. Like, that's how they feel about their house.
Wow.
And I think to separate yourself from a process, I mean, and it's not to get all preachy on y'all. I'm not gonna do that to y'all in the middle of this week. But but I do think there is something to be said about being able to recognize how you feel about a situation and how it makes you feel about yourself.